Hey everybody, this is Jacob. In this video, we are going to be talking about are gamers loyal? The short answer, no, I feel like they ain't, but this video is going to explain why. Now, if you don't want to know my opinion on why, then don't watch the video. Now, I hope you guys do, but if you don't, then don't watch it. Now, this video is inspired by a video I made on Splitgate, talking about why I stopped playing and what I would like to see in Splitgate 2. The video did okay considering that I only have 35 subscribers at the time of making this video, but one person commented and said people got no loyalty is why the count dropped. And I replied back and said, people don't play games to be loyal, they play for entertainment. Splitgate 2 needs a lot more if it's going to keep people playing. And then another person replied back to that comment saying, Jacob all about gaming, that's not true at all. And then continues saying, he's right, people just don't got loyalty for those games. And they've been making a lot of updates for Splitgate 2 to make it much better to the fans. And it's going very well, and that's what's making the player base stronger. Now, that's pretty much all he said. Now, I did reply back, but never got a response. But I am thinking, how am I completely wrong when I'm agreeing with him to an extent? But I'm saying, yeah, people don't play games to be loyal, they play for entertainment. That being said, a game can have fans and even loyal fans. Now let's talk about some games that have a pretty good fan base. Resident Evil, Ninja Gaiden, Mass Effect, Borderlands, Halo, and Fallout. Those games didn't just magically become hits. So how did they? Well, because people liked them and enjoyed them. And some people liked those games so much, they became gamers. Then they became fans of those games. And I remember when I became a fan of Fallout. My uncles just got this game, and it was Fallout 3, and they invited me over to come play it. And I stayed up all night playing it. And it was one of those games that had so much to keep you playing. And it being an RPG, you play as a good guy, you could play as a bad guy, multiple ways of going about quests with a bunch of interesting characters, bunch of different kinds of weapons with different kind of enemies, and a whole lot more. But my point is I first had to like the game to become a fan. And even then, after I beat the game and did most of the quest, I started to lose interest and started to play another game. And that pretty much goes for every gamer, because gaming is a source of entertainment. And you may go back and play that game occasionally, but you are eventually going to get bored with it and move on to another game. Now let's talk about some games that didn't necessarily do all that well even with a good fan base. Resident Evil 6, Ninja Gaiden 3, Mass Effect Andromeda, Duke Nukem Forever, and it really doesn't matter if you like those games or not. A lot of people didn't, or at least not as much. But the one I probably disliked the most was probably Ninja Gaiden 3. Now that's not to say that I thought the game was complete trash or anything like that. It was probably the one that I was most excited to play and the most let down. I remember introducing Ninja Gaiden 3 to my friend. Me and him both played it and beat it, and we both thought it was just okay. Which really sucked because I remember boasting about how good Ninja Gaiden was and how much he was going to like it. I was a fan, I really enjoyed those games, and the game being just okay was kind of a letdown to me. Now I never played Ninja Gaiden 3 again, but I still played the other ones that I liked and I'm excited for the new one coming out. So I would say I'm still a fan, I just don't like that one. But does that mean I'm not a loyal fan? Well, maybe, because I play games because I enjoy them, not to support something that I don't really like. Now I could be wrong, but I feel like most people would agree with me. Now, I actually feel like sometimes games can get a lot of hate because of the fans, kind of like me with Ninja Gaiden 3. And that's because sometimes fans have high expectations, so that can be kind of a double-edged sword. Because if the fans don't like something, they are going to let everybody know it, even if it wouldn't normally be a big deal. But since it's something they like so much, what they don't like is going to be amplified. Not always though, but it can be. Now let me know if you do or you don't agree with that and why. Now let's talk about, can you like the game company and want to support them? Yes, you can, either because they seem to have good ideas or because they seem to have the right business practices. A good example of me wanting to support a game company was Warhorse Studios, the company that made Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is a realistic medieval RPG. I liked some of the ideas and there wasn't a whole lot of games like it. But the game wasn't perfect, it had some problems, especially when it first launched. But I wanted to support the kind of game and the company making it, and I really wanted them to make Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is coming out on February 4th of 2025. So I get what I wanted, but I think that's about as loyal as you can get, looking past some of the problems because you like a lot of things about the game and you want to support it. Now let's talk about, can game companies be loyal or seem to be? At the end of the day, they are trying to make money, but if they tend to make good games and listen to players and give them what they want and not overpriced in things, and if they leave their own political agenda out of games, it's going to make gamers want to support them. And they know that, but they also know that it's easier to ruin their reputation and cause kind of like a hate train. Well, you would think they would know that. Sometimes I kind of wonder. With like Ubisoft and Naughty Dog, they just keep digging themselves more in the hole. And I'm mainly talking about the reputation. And each one is getting hate for different reasons. But unlike actual digging, filling that hole back up is going to be way harder than what it was to dig it. I mean, take CD Projekt Red for example. People used to say nothing but good things about them, and now it's kind of mixed. That's because the reputation plummeted when Cyberpunk 2077 came out. Although I heard they fixed a lot of things about the game, the damage was already done. And I remember when CD Projekt Red would delay Cyberpunk 2077, they also would come out and be like, well, well, we've decided to cut customizations to vehicles. A lot of gamers are like, oh, well, that kind of sucks, but okay. Now, if they came out and said something like that now, they'd probably get a lot more hate, and that's why reputation is so important for game companies. So no, I would say game companies ain't loyal. Just some of them are worried about the reputation. But I will say game companies can have people there that are passionate about what they do, and they love playing games, and they love making games. That can kind of be loyalty, especially when it comes to the smaller game companies. Now, AAA companies can have passionate people too. It's just going to be a lot harder to see. And you may say, how is being passionate being loyal? Because if you're so passionate about something, you are going to be loyal to it. But that is about as close to loyalty as we get, at least when it comes to game development. Let me know what you guys think. Are we gamers loyal, and if so, how? But that's pretty much going to be it for this video. If you liked it, consider hitting like and subscribe. This is Jacob saying goodbye.